Hello world, this is Shruti Pandey, and today I have brought to you something new. New in the sense of format. Until now, you've been listening to one founder or one entrepreneur that I interview, understand their journey with. But something dramatic happened this time when I reached out to Mr. Rupesh Garg, the founder of Frugal Testing, and he said to me that I will come to the podcast, Shruti, but I'll come with my founder and my partner, Bharti Garg. And I think it is not just honoring to his partner, but also to his company that he wanted to extend that invite. And I'm more than happy to host this power couple and let you all learn from their journey, from their experiences as founders, as partners, and as a very strong couple. So thank you, Rupesh sir and Bharti ma'am, for giving me your time today. It is so honoring to host you both together on the podcast.
Same here. I mean, it's our pleasure as well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Shruti. Thank you for planning out and inviting. I know we changed the dates, but thank you for planning out. So,
I think it was worth waiting for. Good things need time and patience is what we did. So I'm more than happy that this is happening. So
okay, sure.
I want to understand from you a couple of questions that I've created for you. And it is totally fine if you both want to give your perspectives each. I'm more than happy to hear both of you out. So my questions could be one, but both of you can take your chances in answering it. So first of all, I want to understand both of you individually had amazing journey and career of your own, like 10-15 years into different space of MNCs, banks, not just in India, even outside of India. And then frugal testing happened. But as an outsider, we just see frugal testing happened. I want to understand, how did it really happen?
Yes. So I would say, Shruti, I mean, it happened. I mean, it definitely before starting in frugal testing, I have done many ventures. Not sort of like a startup kind of thing, but I've done many other daring ventures. So this time, but I felt all the time that I was not very well planned in those ones. So this time I did a new thinking before starting this one, and me and my partner Bhati, and there was actually another co-founder we had who was sort of like CTO of the company. We all three decided to do it, launch this company. 2016 we launched it officially, and obviously, like any journey, we have done a couple of pivots in the process of last 6 years, but uh, but obviously it's a constantly evolving journey, because the market landscape keeps on changing, economical conditions outside keep on changing, internally your perception about the industry changes. So that way we have been constantly evolving, and I feel evolution is the only way to keep on running a business, or grow by leaps and bounds sort of thing.
Right.
So
That makes sense. And I want to understand one thing from Bharti ma'am. We share a commonality that in some point in our careers, both you and I were at Infosys. And I'm not sure if you would echo the sentiment, but I used to feel it amazingly proud for the fact that Sudha Murthy ma'am did a lot of things for Infosys, not just, investing, taking care of the early days of admin and stuff, but she's like a pillar. And we often hear NR and sir saying that it's her career and it's her sacrifice that you see my victory on. So, and I don't see most people, mimicking that model or even having the strength to do something like that. So how did you really got into this journey? And I see you stepping into frugal a little earlier compared to sir. I mean, as an officially on LinkedIn or wherever I see. So how difficult or easy was it for you to, leaving everything aside and being the front face or figure and driving that frugal testing in the early stages?
So basically, if you remember in 2015, there was a lot of startup revolution happening,
Right.
specifically in Hyderabad. We stay in Hyderabad, right?
Right.
So I was working in Infosys, and I was actually happy with my job. It was a very stable and comfortable life.
Yeah.
And I was a developer kind of uh, person. Like I was not at all, I never knew how do we do testing. I didn't know ABC of performance testing.
Okay.
Okay. And I was a person who was not at all risk oriented, not at all. I was like, simple jo bhi office mein whatever we
Sure.
have to do that as a developer,
Correct.
whatever work is given.
Mm.
So I was not exploratory, nothing creative, whatever work was given, done, going back home, taking care of the family, and next day again, same thing.
Sure.
But he was taking me to various startup conferences that time, because he himself wanted to do something in this direction.
Sure.
And then he came up with an idea of creating a SaaS product in performance testing, and which was like, I was totally ignorant about this particular domain. You can imagine how he convinced me, and I said, okay, I'll leave my job and I'll start working on this. And so when I started, I was just a one woman army. I didn't have anybody. Everything we started from scratch only. Rupesh used to give us ideas, guide me, and I started getting people on board one by one. Like we started from our home itself. Like one room was devoted only for this thing.
Got it.
So it was like I used to every time feel whether it is going to work. It was like totally uncertain, right? Everything. But slowly things started forming. We had, as Rupesh said, one co-founder. He also helped. And we created the SaaS product, which was entirely designed by me. And um, it was actually very well built, but somehow we couldn't scale it up. So then Rupesh joined after 3 years, and he then took over, and we pivoted so that we should be able to scale the company well.
Right.
So initially, it was very, very difficult for me to decide and start on this journey.
Wow, you really are no less than a an example of Sudha Murthy, which I was talking about. And thank you for sharing that journey of yours with me, because I see so many relatability factors, and I used to think कि ये उस जमाने में होता था, अब कहाँ होगा. So you gave me that hope that things can happen. It's just about having that faith in the product or company or partner, life partner or work partner, whatever that might be. And sir, I feel like asking, sorry Bharti ma'am, you were about to say
Yeah,
something.
actually, I wanted to add, like, if I look at Sudha Murthy, right, I have actually watched so many videos of hers. So I can relate myself to her and her husband to Rupesh. Definitely, I can see lots of similarities, and that's what I also feel. I keep on telling Rupesh, it will work. It will work. You have to be patient. You keep on working. So definitely, a wife um helps the husband to keep looking forward and working hard, and things will happen. So I definitely relate to her, like her experiences, her struggles. I can see that.
I'm so happy you said that out loud, and I'm also very happy because you used one phrase which I genuinely use. Like I working with corporate, and you would have seen or experienced it yourself. It doesn't matter if you're a developer or tester, but if you're a female, you would either be the only female in the team, or maybe you would have one or two. Like the ratio of male and female, specifically in India, is very less. And I used to think of myself exactly the same way, one woman army. So I think Rupesh sir, I'm sorry I have to say this, like you have been so lucky to have that one woman army with you who developed everything from scratch. और आपने तो घर पे ही मतलब ये तो बढ़िया काम हो गया यार. In house you got a developer to create everything from scratch for you. Like what best way of having it created than asking your wife to do something like that. सोने पे
Yeah,
सुहागा की बात है.
I mean, it has been a constant, I would say, evolution of our skills.
Sure.
Like Bharti learned, a lot of skills like the product management, product development, then very complex technical delivery, very, very aggressive technical delivery, which requires very extremely, uh, extremely extrovert nature and also technically competent person. Because finding two skills in a person is very difficult.
Yes.
Person who's technically competent will be normally silent. Who
Yes.
are extrovert, they are not technically competent.
Right.
These are like two left and right brains.
Right.
So, but in a startup, you got to be both in one person.
Mm, mm, mm.
That's a a huge skill to acquire. So
Yeah.
I think over the years, both of us have like gained a lot of skills, and we obviously we have when we look back at the last year, we say, oh my God, we did so many mistakes. And then we say, okay, no, next year we'll not do all of that. We'll just learn it that what are the wrong things we did.
It is only your humility that you're talking about such things, because I don't genuinely see many founders, openly confronting that, okay, we make mistakes and we want to rectify it. Like, that is the strongest point any human can have. And I think that is the first sign that you can be a good leader or founder or whatever you might be. So, and which is why I think I appreciate you even more. And I hope you know that. But I want to understand one more very powerful aspect from you two guys. The generation and era that we are living in, where relationships in general are so fragile. It could be mother daughter relationship, husband wife relationship, and even employees, right? Like, we don't have patience enough that, okay, we will listen to our bosses yelling and howling at us anymore. There is no such culture existing now. So in the era where everything is so fragile, what does it even take to be a power couple like you two? Like, how does that dynamic really work? Like, your partner at home, your partner at office, there is no escape. So how do you guys manage this juggling act? And if you can share any insights with us, whoever wants
Yeah,
to go first.
it is definitely see, when you are husband wife, I remember only in that role with each other, like when we started working 6-7 years back together. So I will not like a lot of things in her style of working. So there will be a huge amount of disagreement. So sometimes it will spoil my mood at home.
Okay.
Then I felt maybe it was wrong idea to start with wife. And have rather all the office fights before coming to home. Because generally I was having all the disagreements in office. Once you come to home, you are in a new sphere of people. So that arguments remain in office only. There's nothing. You start fresh in the home. Once
Right.
you reach home after 7 or 8 p.m., there's nothing left of office. Office people are office. Home people are home. So, but I think overall we started to understand each other uh, after so many years much more deeply and appreciate each other's beauty. You know. So yeah, that has been, I think, a strong point. That can be strong point also, because you really understand each other's personality so deeply. You know who's good at what, and then you can divide task immediately in every 6 hours between yourself. You can shuffle your jobs basically. Like if I'm good in project management and she's good in uh, very hands-on going deep dive into coding, we can immediately change the roles. Hey, I think it's not working. Let's change the roles between among each other.
Right.
And that way, role allocation can be done between husband and wife very quickly, and role changes can be done immediately overnight. But
Mhm.
if they're external founders, role changes are not possible. There will be a lot of ego fights.
Right.
Because there will be a lot of stiffness in whatever one person is playing the role. So people will not change the roles. You got it. So that definitely comes as a strong advantage in our favor also. and another feel I feel, in the long run, if you are able to make this business a profitable, you have built an asset, which is a company. Even if you hopefully sell it very if not very profitably, but profitably, you have built a huge stock options for yourself, like in a proper corporate, which is a huge savings for the retirement plan kind of thing. So, and everything is within the family, nothing going out.
What I'm basically instigating people, like they should get married and basically make use of that relationship and create businesses so that everything remains in the family. Is that what you're instigating people to do now?
So, I don't think so, but like you can do both ways. You even if you have external founders, they are separate plus points.
Right.
If founders are within the same family, they're plus and minus also. There is heavy pressure also. So they both have their own plus and minuses. I feel.
I absolutely love the reactions which Bharti ma'am is giving throughout when you're answering. I just love her because all that reactions are speaking so loud to me. And I want to understand from you, ma'am, because while he answered it so easily and, make it, I think he has that characteristics of convincing people. Like he's just selling marriage to people. कि कर लो शादी और ये partnership को घर के घर में रह जाएगा. But I'm pretty sure it's not very easy because you are walking on a very thin line, right? मतलब तुम्हारा relationship भी stake पे है और job भी stake पे. It is not very easy. And again, like my question was that in these days when any relationship is so fragile, ये balancing act हो कैसे रहा? Like how are you guys really maintaining and pulling it off? I want to hear and understand from you also because I'm pretty sure it's not very easy like sir is trying to sell it.
See, he actually told the crux, but if I go into a little more detail, because I am more detail oriented and he's always talking at high level. Initially, when we started, now few years initially was really difficult for both of us because we knew each other from the personal angle, but not from the way of working together. We never worked together, right? So it was like adjusting into each other's you can say so far. So it was like it was so like not convincing. Certain things I was not liking about Rupesh's way of working. Many things he was not liking. So slowly and steadily we understood, okay, initially what used to happen was if there was a project, we used to get into it, both of us together.
Okay.
So even he was doing everything, even I was doing everything. And that was ruining the things, like even our qualities where they stand, right? We were not utilizing them properly. But later on, we realized, okay, Bharti, you fit here more, I fit here more. Let you take care of this department, I'll take care of that department. So that started happening. We were able to define our boundaries, and that actually helped complementing each other's skills. So that worked. So it's really important to find out who is good in what, and then work accordingly to sustain, both harmony in both work and home.
You guys really touch wood, complement each other, and like you mentioned, the high level and the detail level. I love the both the aspect of the answer because it is making things so clear for anyone who would be listening to this, and making him or her understand that things just don't happen superficially. There is so much more that goes behind the scene, the efforts required to start a company, to just have that segregation of duty, which is in general so important, and it's an art which everybody needs to master in general, as an employer, employee, or whatever. And I want to understand one more. I think I'm asking you all very heavy duty questions, and I'm apologizing for that. But in the recent times, like we are seeing the startup dynamics, if I were to say, without taking any names, where there are different gender people, and there are different kind of issues coming up between them, and then the startup is going for a toss, or things are going really nasty and stuff like that. And in general, again, taking back to forgetting about the startup and the founder thing, but in general, we have seen that, especially given the fact, I'll give a benefit of doubt to our culture also, that wherever there is that man woman thing, there is bound to be a little bit of, intimidation or jealousy. Oh, she is good, or she might be a threat to my role, or things like that. I'm not sure if you've experienced in your earlier career, Bharti ma'am, this thing. I'm not sure, but I have seen these things in a couple of places. Life is not a perfect world, and if these things exist in the real world of, about intimidation or jealousy, because forgetting about everything else, we are just humans. How does that affect, and how are you supposed to take care of that aspect, again, as a co-founding team of a startup? Because, like I was asking you guys earlier, it's a very thin line which I feel you guys are walking on both the sides. You're walking for the company also, for your own house also. So how does that play out? Like, is there any intimidation or jealousy which comes, and if at all it comes, how do you handle in both your cases? I'm not sure if Bharti ma'am would feel it that way for sir sometimes, or vice versa.
Yeah, so we don't feel anything like that from the very starting, but because I think the reason is it's our common goal to make it work, whatever we are doing, right? If had there been a third person, an external person, definitely that would have come up. But because it is something we have to make it working, because it's a common goal for us, that doesn't happen. We actually appreciate, rather, if somebody is working better, we appreciate each other. Like, Rupesh, you did a really great job. I'm so happy. So that happens. The same thing happens from Rupesh's side. If he feels that I have done a good job, he'll definitely appreciate me. So he doesn't feel that, I am coming, uh, I am going to take over or something. Because in the end, what we want is that the company should rise.
Mhm. Right, right. Any other take or any other point you think, sir, you need to add here? Because again, we are humans. Anybody could feel that way for anyone, be it intimidation, be it jealousy, like, or you have just reached a state where you don't feel certain things of the sort.
No, I don't never feel like that. There's a huge disagreement in style of working can arise over the course of weeks and months, in thinking of the way forward direction, and the how we should take it further in the next 3 months or 6 months, or what has mistakes have happened in the dissection of the last 6 months of work. There could be huge disagreements or fights can happen, but there's no jealousy as such between our relationship. Our objective is to make it a workable and very sustainable, look up to organization profitably, running it under lesser pressure on us as founders. And see, I believe, I believe that male and female both are required to run like a house. Same thing about organization. Organization should not be run by males only. Females bring a soft corner to the organization. So it's a Shiva Shakti. It's the same according to older Indian philosophy, So
Yeah,
it's a Shiva
right.
Shakti.
For,
Both, no
hmm.
more. 50-50 between us. There's nothing much of a fight on that credit or anything like that. A lot of times Bharti presents the organization or I present. We are not much bothered. Actually, we don't even bother about presenting anywhere. We are much worried always in work. So we are not much bothered about, any kind of beautiful presentations are going anywhere. We are always down to the keyboard. So we are like, I call that we are tech workers. So, we are happy that way. So we want that to be known as a strength of us, not a weakness of us. That when people they feel, wow, what an organization. This organization really is extremely hands-on, is tech savvy, and can deliver something really complex. So that's how we want our personalities to remain to be, not up there in the sky too much into PR and all that stuff. We are not, and then like I was saying, organization has to run by male and female both. If you are only a male founder, you should hire some female senior managers, directors under you who can run the organization in a better way, because male has a certain style of working, female has a certain style of working. Both complement each other, not fight with each other. So if an organization only has females or only has males, it will have a shortcoming of the other side of the world. So it should be done both ways.
I mean, forget about different genders. Sometimes I have also seen in my corporate experience that people can be of the same gender and still have that ego of, who will be presenting in the town hall, who will be presenting first in the town hall, and the other person would be doing it second. So I think I'm very grateful to God for one thing, that whatever kind of people I would have met in my working experience, but the founders that I get on the podcast, I'm not sure how I meet or how all humble folks have gravitated in my life, because I definitely get a lot to learn from you guys, and it's only humility which is going to take, I think, the mankind forward. And I absolutely love both your answers, because there has to be a complementing nature, there has to be a balance of Shiva and Shakti. And if I were to ask you one final question, I mean, I understand you've literally shared everything. Do you feel like there is any learning from the frugal testing journey which is very vivid in your memory, which you would like to share with us? It could be any learning, failure, success, whatever. I don't even have to label it failure, success. It could be any learning. Do you think, or you remember of any learning which you feel like sharing?
I feel I have learned a lot of persistence. I have seen lots of failures in this, but still I want to, keep working hard, both of us. And I can see that a lot of persistence is required, which I could see in this journey. And Rupesh, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I was talking to another Indian Army major. So we were talking about, what is unique in Army people. So what we are seeing, a fitness trainer plus bravery is equal to Indian Army.
Sure.
So fit anybody can be. You are a good runner. You lift good weights. You can make. You're a fit guy, but doesn't mean you can fight in Kargil war. For that you need guts. So that guts is not equivalent to muscle power. So same thing I feel now after working so many years in the startup, after doing a lot of mistakes on the journey, and plenty learning out, everyday learning out of it. I feel being running a business is being brave, and a perfect employee or employee with a lot of awards plus a brave person is equal to entrepreneur. So
Wow.
anybody entrepreneur.
Seriously, wow.
So bravery angle is unique, and you are at the same time contributing to economy. You are creating jobs. You are giving meaning to the world. Otherwise, you will be taking somebody's job if you join a corporate. Rather giving jobs,
Yes.
you will have to replace somebody with your skills. So like right now, we might be generating 30, 40 easily jobs. Maybe after a year, we might generate 80 to 100 jobs. So that much is doable. A lot of people are dependent on us now. We are giving meaning to their life.
Yes.
And another proud moment is like whosoever works with us leaves us at 2 to 3 or 4 time package within 1 to 2 years window. So amount of learning we imbibe, being just a 5-day working organization, working within day hours. So a solid learning platform we are building, may not be building in a very extremely profitable organization till now, but we are giving. I feel we are giving meaning to people's lives. So,
Which is more important than anything else. I mean, uh, as a person having a conscience, I think that is what would give you a good night's sleep, right? Rather than knowing I have so much bank balance, is how I look at it. So I absolutely love those answers, sir. And before we wrap up this conversation, do you guys have any parting thoughts which you feel that we have missed, or you want to share? Anything at all? It could be anything really, which each of you want to share or just talk about.
So actually, we at our office is a very small office, not like any other big corporate posh office. But what we do at our office is, whether it is uh, any person on any level, we don't treat anybody on based on hierarchy. For us, everybody is equal. So what we do is, like Rupesh said, quarterly or monthly. One thing is we plan outings. Secondly, what we do is, if suppose it's raining, chalo, let's make pakoras in the office, and we involve people in the kitchen itself. We make groups. It's a team building activity. Few people are cutting, few people are frying, few people are decorating. So, and the music is on. So it's just one example of the way our culture is. So when it is work, it is work. But when it is enjoyment, it is thrill, like you dance, you do whatever you want in office.
That is totally unheard of. And I don't think so. Any startup who, puts all those things, that we have this in the cafeteria, that in the cafeteria. This is the first time I heard of this idea, and I absolutely loved it. And I hope if there is another category of the ones who are just eating, I will contribute to that part. Like you mentioned, there is one category for chopping, one category for frying. I'll be the other category for eating.
Like music is on, and the person who was cutting alus and onions, he was also dancing side by side. So you
That
can
is
imagine the fun.
That is actually a team building activity. I absolutely agree with you. It is a team building activity. And thank you for sharing that with us. So, sir, do you have anything to add to that? I don't think you can top that answer, but still, do you have anything more to add?
No, I think I don't have anything else to add. I give my points. All the points.
This is the most ever fun conversation I've had ever with founders, that too with a character, substance, and soul. And as I'm growing old, I understand one thing, and it's not about any particular religion or whatever, but I feel if you're in the grihast ashram, like I was telling you guys a while earlier, your responsibility is not just towards your spouse, kids, or immediate family, but also towards the society, is what our ancient Vedas say, if anybody would like to pull it out and read it up. And I feel you guys are really a strong example of doing that for the society, creating that meaning for people's life. And I remember when 10, 11 years back, I was starting off after my engineering, how much I needed a job because I wanted that money to support my family. And I've done that for a very long time. Like, I didn't realize that I was creating a career out of my life when I was just supporting my family for all these 10, 11 years. And I know how important that employment and livelihood could be for an employee. So I'm so proud of the two of you that touchwood. I hope you guys just keep flourishing and thriving with everything that you do in your personal and professional life. And if in any way I can help you in your journey, whichever aspect, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to help you. You guys are amazing, and I'm so happy to host the two of you, the powerful people, together. Thank you so much for gracing my platform.
Thank you so much, Shruti. And I look forward to meeting you actually. Maybe we'll try together to come to Mumbai, or you come to Hyderabad, and we can, meet up and chill together. That'll be wonderful.
Absolutely. The feeling is absolutely mutual, ma'am. I hope to meet you guys soon. You were saying something, sir?
No, I think definitely we'll meet up, Shruti, I think soon. We'll plan it, definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for sharing all your wisdom and experiences with us.
Okay. Yeah.